to be explaining you a couple of sensors that I have gathered. I think the most important thing is before you begin programming any sensor, you need to understand how to pin these sensors onto Pico, right? So this is Raspberry Pi Pico, and these are different sensors, right? So let's one by one try and understand their philosophy. As you see on my screen, you see this GPIO chart, right? So this is all the chart. So it's got different pins starting from 1 all the way to, right, 20 here, and there are 20 pins on this side. And obviously when you put it there, you need to make sure you put it in right like this. So these pins are actually, as on the screen you can see, these pins are these ones, right? Because it's flipped around on the screen, so that's why. So anyway, so these pins are there are one most important thing is there are some black pins are called ground pins, right? And there's a power pin which is in red. So this is 0 to 5 voltage. This one 0 to 5 voltage V bus. The power pin. This one first one, right? And also you get a 3.3 out. This is 3.0 to 3.3 volt. Okay, depending on what your sensor takes, you can search on the internet name of the sensor and see how much value you take. Most of these works with the 0 to 5 voltage and won't burn it. Now, most important thing is that when you see any sensor, if it has a voltage, it will be labeled as VCC, right? So here, as you can see here, this is the VCC on this side. Yeah, this side you see the VCC. This is got VCC. It's got 3 pins. This one is the infrared sensor. It's got 3 pin VCC, GND, and output. So it only give you output. GND goes into the GND pin. And how many GND pins you see on my screen here? If you look at it, right, GND, these are all GND pins. So these can go, the GND can go into any of these GND, right? There are like on the left side, which I'm circling right now, there are 4 GND. So this can go into any GND, right? Sometimes you use this kind of like, male to female and plug that directly onto the GND. Sometimes you put it like this onto the board, and then you pull the GND from here. We put this one, it's a male to male, so you put this one here, and then the other one goes into the GND here, whatever it is there. Or if, for example, if I want to plug this one in, I would be doing it very simply. There is a VCC, so VCC has to go into like this. I will do like this. VCC goes into the, see here, VCC goes into the VCC. So this VCC will go into this here, the V bus, okay, and the GND will go into any of these GND, and then you can put the actual pin, which has to be a GPU pin. So then GPU, the output you want to receive it, you have to choose one of those GPUs. So every sensor you come across will have VCC and GND, most probably. I mean, for example, this one here is a photoresistant sensor, light sensor. It's got a VCC, it's got a GND, and it's got a digital output pin and digital analog output. You see DO and AO at the end, these on the, where I'm putting my finger, DO and AO. So these are the 2 output pins, and then VCC and GND. VCC will go obviously into the first one here, 40, as I'm pointing out on my screen here. That's where the VCC need to go, this one V bus, right? And the GND could go into this one or that one or any of the GND. And then you need to select either digital. Sometimes you have 4 pins, but you don't need to use all those. So you want to make a selection there. Do you want to use the digital output or analog output? And based on that, you use one of these pins, output pins, and put them into one of these GPUs, GPU 2, 3, 4, 5, where you're going to cache your thing. Similarly, this one is a body detection sensor. This one also got sort of like the same 3 pins. One is VCC, one is GND, and the third one would be the input output pin. And then you got this one here. This one got a 4, right? So this one here, as you see, this one, the one I'm touching with my finger right now is GND. Then you got a echo, then you got trigger. These are output input pins, right? Echo and triggers. So they go into GPUs, and then the VCC will go into this again, V bus there. So now some pins don't have actually, let's say, for example, this one is a traffic light, and we're going to program this in a minute. This one doesn't have, it has a GND, and then it's got directly colors, right? So if you look at this, it's got a GND, which means the GND will go into the one of the GNDs, and then you got green, then you got yellow and red, green, yellow, and red from bottom to top. So this is green, right? Then you have a yellow with Y, and then red with R, and then GND, right? So this means this will go into GND, and these will directly go into the GPUs. There's no VCC pin, because these lights are basically lit by the power it receives from the GPU pins itself. GND to make sure it's a negative is controlled. This one is a buzzer. Normally you don't receive a buzzer with pin. Buzzer often come with just plus and minus, so 2 pin legs under this black head. You'll see directly 2 pins coming out of it in most of the buzzers. And one is plus, one is minus. So minus will go into the GND, and the plus will go into directly one of the GPUs. For example, you can place it here on, let's say, the minus you can place onto 18, okay, like this, and plus you can place into 19. But because this has got 3 legs, so this means this has got a GND, which you can go into any GND. Then you got output. Output is a plus, which means it has to be any GPU. And then you got VCC, which means you need to give a power as well. So VCC has to go into V bus here on top. So these are the different sensors I showed you. And one thing you notice that every sensor has got 3 or 4 legs. And GND needs to go into GND. VCC need to go into V bus. You can check the voltage. If it is a 0 to 5 voltage can be used, which means and it can accommodate any range. Or if it takes, like, say, 3.3 voltage, you can directly put into 3.3 voltage. And these are sort of like important things you need to remember for your pinning, because you need to understand the basic philosophy behind it. The rest is easy. Let's start up with our next video where we program one of these sensors.